In August, BYD outsold Tesla across the EU for the second straight month. September is mixed. Germany shows Tesla narrowly ahead, and model level reads put Model Y at the top of the continent. The signal, though, is clear. The gap is now tight, and month-to-month swings look more like low-magnitude noise than a trend reversal. So how did BYD build resilience in Europe, a foreign, policy-dense market? And what does its localization pivot mean for rivals, including Tesla? In the next few minutes, we'll unpack the scoreboard, the strategy, and the implications. BYD entered Europe via exports in 2022 with the Atto 3 and Seal. By 2024, it had a sales network in 20+ EU countries, covering both BEVs and plug-in hybrids. In 2025, the inflection shows up in the numbers. Across the first 3 quarters of 2025, BYD sold 116,059 vehicles in 17 European countries, up roughly 325% year over year. September alone reached 24,336 units, led by the Seal U hybrid with 11,000 deliveries. By September, BYD's EU share was 1.3%, edging Tesla at roughly 1.2%. Evidence that the race is tightening, not widening. Tariffs went up. BYD's share still rose. The how sits in the playbook. Cost leadership, a flexible battery electric plug-in hybrid mix, and a localization hedge that converts policy headwinds into operating advantages. Let's dig into that. Europe's duties are real. In 2024, the EU added company-specific countervailing duties on top of the 10% car tariff. Roughly 17% for BYD, with higher rates, mid-30s, for some makers. On paper, that looks punishing. In practice, 3 levers blunt it. First, vertical integration. BYD builds the battery and powertrain in-house. These buckets dominate EV cost. UBS teardown work estimates 25% overall cost advantage for BYD versus Western peers. Even with trade frictions, fewer supplier markups, a structurally lower landed cost, even with duties. Second, model mix. The portfolio spans affordable BEVs, such as Dolphin at £26,000 in the UK, and high-value plug-in hybrids, for example Seal U. Crucially, the EU's EV tariff applies to vehicles solely electric. Plug-in hybrids sit outside that scope. In April, Chinese brand plug-in hybrids registrations in Europe rose nearly 550% year over year to almost 10% of the PHEV market, illustrating why leaning into hybrids preserves volume while BYD calibrates battery electric pricing. That helps BYD hit TCO monthly payment targets for both fleets and private buyers. Third, global scale. BYD reported 396,270 new energy vehicle sales in September and 13.8 million plus cumulative. Scale lowers shipping and procurement costs via consolidated logistics and privately owned Ro-Ro capacity. For example, Explorer One, a 5,000 car carrier. Analysts estimate that Scale Plus integration yields up to 18 to 25% procurement savings on components, boosting gross margins close to 20% despite price pressures. Why this shows up at the buyer? Europe is leasing heavy for EVs. What matters is the monthly payment, not the sticker. BYD's cost base and BEV, PHEV mix keeps those payments within fleet and household budgets, even with duties. Near term, cost stack plus product mix carry the load. Medium term, however, local factories compress duties and logistics altogether. BYD's real answer is localization. The company announced Hungary in late 2023, targeting start of production by end 2025. A second plant in Turkey is lined up for 2026. The ambition is clear. By 2028, every BYD sold in Europe is built in Europe. At steady state, Hungary plus Turkey are planned to deliver up to 500,000 units a year, enough to anchor a true regional footprint rather than a tariff workaround. Why this matters? Tariff neutralization. Local content rules do the heavy lifting. As EU-sourced parts and assembly rise, duty exposure fades and pricing becomes more predictable. Second, faster, cheaper logistics, shorter routes, fewer ports, and quicker inventory turns reduce working capital and cut per unit freight. And lastly, financing credibility. Local plants, local parts, and local jobs de-risk residuals for leasing firms and banks, so the monthly payment improves, which is what actually moves volume in Europe. BYD is also evaluating a European battery plant, primarily to feed its own lines, but potentially to supply other OEMs. That would lock in cell availability, push the cost edge deeper into Europe, and help the region hit its strategic goal of more secure access to batteries. The play extends to commercial and public transport too. BYD is rolling out articulated electric buses into EU tenders, where local build plus in-market service can outweigh brand familiarity on the scorecard. It's the same manufacturing logic applied to fleets that buy at scale. Local factories turn tariff headwinds into structural advantages. If Hungary ramps into 2026 and Turkey follows, the 2026 to 2028 window becomes the inflection. Production shifts onshore, logistics compress, lease math improves, and BYD's EU presence hardens from entry to incumbency. A solid plan on paper is the opening move. The next act is the real-world test, where timelines, rules, and customers get a vote. Hungary can start by end 2025, Turkey follows in 2026. But starts aren't the finish line. The real test is mass production and supplier localization. If subsystems, cells, motors, power electronics don't localize fast enough, the tariff shield is thinner than it looks, and the cost curve stays exposed to customs, freight, and foreign exchange. Delays ripple into inventory turns and dealer lesser confidence. Translation: every quarter without smooth ramping raises the carrying cost of the EU strategy. On the other hand, the EU can still change the game with minimum price undertakings, tighter local content thresholds, or connected vehicle software rules. Any of those can squeeze pricing freedom, force content swaps, or slow feature rollouts, hurting residual values and leasing math. And if trade politics flare, approvals for the next plant or battery site can slip. Localization helps, but it isn't a force field. Then there is price war. China's home market is still a knife fight. A prolonged margin squeeze there can crowd out EU capex or slow feature cadence in Europe. Conversely, if BYD pushes EU volume with aggressive pricing before localization fully bites, it risks training the market to expect discounts tough to unwind once plants are live. Competitors aren't standing still either. If Tesla's AI FSD stack and Robotaxi model hit regulator-approved scale, value shifts from hardware margins to software plus miles, letting Tesla subsidize car prices while monetizing usage. Pressure on BYD even in cost-led segments. Legacy and China peers still matter just differently. Volkswagen and Stellantis can slow share loss via lease subventions plus dealer reach. MG, Chery, and other Chinese brands can compress BYD's edge by undercutting or localizing faster. But the swing factor is the autonomy curve. If it lands, the customer metric moves from price per car to price per mile. So the next 6 quarters are a scoreboard of execution versus friction. If factories ramp, content localizes, and service scales, localization graduates BYD from entrant to incumbent. If not, Europe stays a high-cost export play with headlines but thin leverage. Tariffs rose, but BYD's cost stack, mix, and localization turned headwinds into momentum. Now the real test is execution versus friction. What's your take? What's Europe's strongest lever now? Local content rules, minimum prices, or software/connected car rules? Does Tesla's Robotaxi shift the math to price per mile in 2026, 2027? Or is that timeline too optimistic? If you're in Europe, would local build change your willingness to lease a BYD versus a legacy brand? Found this breakdown useful? Subscribe to StratyQ for more data-driven strategy. Disagree? Drop your counter and let's debate it in the comments.